a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed.
Yo, what's up? It's the ManUp Podcast Lounge. It's the ManUp Podcast Lounge. It's the ManUp Podcast Lounge. ManUp Podcast Lounge. Yo, welcome to the ManUp Podcast Lounge, where us kings are uplifting other kings in the community. And I'm your boy VC.
I'm Kelvin.
I'm Warren G with Bully Magazine. JC, the political savage. Great. So I want y'all, this is season 2 of the ManUp Podcast. And I just want to give a quick recap because we was here the last couple of weeks, man, and I tell you, we had such a great conversation.
Yes, sir.
You know, we pretty much just talked about what men were doing in this hour, in this time, and in this decade, right? Go check out episode 1 of the Real Man Stand Up podcast. So basically, we're gonna be here today. We got my man here, Mr. Kevin Dooley. On set, and we're gonna just have a general conversation. I think we got some little tricks up our sleeve for you today, Mr. Dooley. First of all, I really want to get into it because I can tell you, we talk about entrepreneurship, you know, and I'm sitting here reading my notes on you, man, and you got some great things going on. I see here you got J&K Style, and forgive me because, you know, I'm gonna get a little old here, you know. Got J&K Style Grill, and you the daddy and daughter owner?
Yeah, well, my daughter's the owner. Your
daughter's the owner. Great. Say you the home of the original waffle burger,
yes, sir.
Stuffed wings, yes, and gourmet egg rolls.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna let you get into a little bit of that, but for real, we want to really know who is the man behind the scenes.
Gotcha.
So if you can just give us a little recap on J&K Grill, and then we're gonna jump into who you are.
I got you.
Yeah.
J&K Style Grill is a concept I came up with years ago. I used to run a McDonald's in Anderson, South Carolina, and they asked me to come up with a burger that McDonald's could use at the time.
Oh, okay, great.
I truly believe, without a shadow of a doubt, I came up with that McGriddle. I do believe that without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
But at the time they had pancakes and didn't have waffle. I created a burger off of that.
Okay.
J&K Style Grill, me and my wife are ministers. So we put God first in everything. So J&K stands for Jesus. K stands for Kiana, which is the princess of the group.
Oh, yeah. That's great. That's
she's
great.
The boss
That's
of the
great.
group.
That's
so
great.
the waffle burgers was the first thing I created.
Mm-hmm.
Stuffed wings, I've been doing them for a long time. The guys got seen on this other show doing stuffed wings, but I've been doing them before they did. And
that's great. That's
and then
great.
egg rolls just fell in my lap, man. I was in the restaurant, a distributor came in, threw some egg roll wraps down, and said, "Try this Philly meat." And I was next to a sub shop, so they wouldn't let me do subs.
Okay.
So I said, "Well, if I can't do subs, we'll do this."
Mm-hmm. Now, I heard you say a daughter and a wife.
Oh, absolutely.
Daughter and a wife.
3 daughters, 3 sons, and a wife.
Oh, see, we breaking the walls down real quick already. We breaking it down. You know this is ManUp Podcast, right?
Yes, sir.
So we don't even have to ask you whether you manned up or not, because I can just tell from the first few words that you took a vision,
Yep.
turn it into something that we are gonna touch and agree that's gonna grow tremendously.
Absolutely.
So you done already manned up.
Yes, sir.
And plus, just by talking to you for a few minutes, you home. You home with the wife and the babies.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump into that as far as you being that man of the house. Let's get into who Kelvin is as the man of the house.
Got you.
Yeah.
I'm just an old country boy from a little small town called Hartwell County, Georgia. Grew up fatherless. I've been fatherless for 36 years.
Oh.
So I had no structure on how to be father, husband. Military, I did military 25 years. And it was in the military that 3 men pulled me aside. They used to call me a bull in the china shop. I was a single father at the time. Me and my first wife had 2 sons. I was a single father at the time, but I was reckless. And these 3 old men pulled me aside and said, we're not going to allow you to be a statistic. You're not going to be a bull in a china shop. We're going to direct you. And those 3 men taught me how to be a man.
That's great.
They gave me structure. It still took a little while, but what they instilled in me got me to where I'm at now. Taught me how to be faithful. I'm faithful to my wife. I've been with her 21 years.
That's good, Dad.
There's not a person or a female that can walk in front of me that will pull me away from what my destiny is, which is my wife. Then my daughter, I call my wife my benediction. But that's the end. I don't got nobody else to come in, right? I can't afford to lose what I'm building.
Hey,
right?
most definitely.
We done matured now. We done grown up.
That's right.
So I've always called her my benediction. My girls, 2 of my daughters are in college. Well, one of them just graduated. One was at South Carolina State. The other one's in Charleston. She graduates in May. And Kiana is the princess. She is my. The other 2 are we're a blended family. Came in with 2. I had 2. My wife had 2.
Okay.
We came together. Well, I had 3. My wife had 2, and Kiana's our only daughter together.
Okay.
But I love them all the same, you know. But Kiana's the princess.
That's great. That's great. I can tell you, man, just by listening to you for a few minutes here, you know, we can delve down into what a man is, but you already described what a man is. And for all the men that's out there listening,
Yes, sir.
if you heard this one thing that he said that his wife was his queen, his benediction, right? And look what God has done in his life, right?
Right.
Because he wasn't all over the place. And I'm gonna let these guys jump in here, fellas. Let's have this conversation with Kelvin, you know? Let's have this conversation with Kelvin. What's on y'all mind?
Oh, well, bro, I commend you.
I appreciate it.
First of all, let me tell you that for standing up and doing your duty as a man,
That's right.
holding down your family, and you're an example and you should be more of an example to people that's, you know, wondering. Like you said, you didn't have structure at a certain point in your life. And a lot of brothers out there are the same way, you know. They don't have structure, or they have the wrong structure. And sometimes, you know, it takes a while for you to find that correct path. But once you do, you know that's the correct path, you walk that path, and it leads you to where God is supposed to have you go. So I take my hat off to you, brother. And you got girls too. You got girls.
Yeah.
I got a little girl. I mean, you know, love women. I got mother, sister, aunt, cousin, all that. And now I have a daughter as well. So you got, you know, you got multiple blessings in that area. So so congratulations and much success and much support in all your endeavors in the future, bro. So yeah, just keep doing your thing.
I appreciate it.
Keep doing your thing.
And the men that's listening, something that Kelvin said, he said 2 guys, right?
It was 3 guys.
3 guys that mentored you. So if we can really get down into that part, you know, that mentorship.
Right.
You know, we talked a little bit about that on the first podcast, right? Mentorship and making sure the father is in the home. You know, and I really want to get from you, as far as being a father in the home with a blended family, can we get some insights? Can you be the mentor now to a young man or to a young man that's listening to this podcast today? What kind of words of wisdom would you have for them, Kelvin?
So my words of wisdom is, and I say this about either in family or even in business, I only associate with people that are 2 or 3 steps ahead of me. Because if we're on the same level, we ain't gonna do nothing, but we can't even grow together, right? Because some of us gonna be stubborn.
Yeah.
But if you're 2 or 3 steps ahead of me,
Yeah.
and I'm wise enough to listen to you,
That's great.
because you're giving me wise knowledge, then where you're gonna go, that's some bumps in the road I'm not meant to take. But because we're on the same level, we're gonna keep running to that same wall. But because you're 2 or 3 steps ahead of me, you're gonna say, well, maybe you need to take a step back. reevaluate. Let's look at this. I know you're grown, we're men. You're gonna do what men do, but take a step back. Let's reevaluate this together because I trust you. I trust your word. I trust what you're saying. I don't want you to take these bumps in this road. You don't have to do that anymore. I'm gonna help you guide. You don't got to listen to everything I have to say. You don't have to do everything the way I'm saying it, but take some of the nuggets out of it so you don't have to continue to bump into that wall because there's success on the other side of that. You just got to listen and be willing to go after the success side of it. You're gonna have some bumps. We all need to grow, but them big bumps, I don't want to take them no more.
Them steps are important.
Sometimes.
Those 2 or 3 steps that someone is ahead of you is very important.
They're very important.
They're very important steps because they already took them first.
They already did them.
They may have fell on their face, right? Or they may have, bumped into that wall that you talked about, right? So taking those steps behind that person, you can kind of weave your way through. Not that you'll be perfect.
Not you'll be perfect.
But you can get your way, you can weave your way through and get to that point that you're trying to get, especially if you see someone that's where you want to be.
Absolutely.
So if somebody is inspiring to be a restaurant owner, see, Kelvin already took those steps. Kevin already took the steps to be a husband. Kevin already took the steps to be a daddy. Kevin already accepted kids into his life that weren't even his and love them like his own. That's a man who stood up. That's a man who stood up, and I got to give you some dap on that, my brother. You know what I mean? This is the ManUp podcast, and I just want to go back to the first episode because Calvin, we had an awesome conversation. If you guys out there go listen and take heed to that first one because there were some points that were made in that open our eyes to which every man on every level is going through, right? And the one thing that the young man asked is how can he get through to his son? And you say you have a son, right?
I have 3 older boys.
3 older boys. So let's get into that conversation. You guys jump in here, let's get into that conversation of how you navigate with these boys, especially black men in America today,
So my goal, as I told you in the beginning, I grew up without dad. So my structure and the military, a lot of my raising my sons was trial and error. I didn't do a lot of stuff the right way. My disciplinary was very militant. So I didn't let him get away with anything because my fear was, I don't want you to go to your house and they talk about how bad you are or the stuff. So I was very militant. I was very structured and strict when I had no instruction. There's one thing I tell people, there's no instructions when you're becoming a parent. Unless you have that father in the home that can teach. I didn't have it. So a lot of mine was trial and error. And it put a wall between me and my sons when they got older because of my militantness, my strength, I ain't gonna let you mess up when I should have just been a father, should have loved on them a little bit more. But what happened was, now that they have children, they're saying, Daddy, everything, my son just told me this 2 weeks ago. Okay. Daddy, everything that you were trying, I understand now. I may not have agreed with how you were doing it. And I had to apologize to my children. Once they got into their 20s, I called them. I even called my ex-wife and I apologized. I'm older now, I'm mature. I made a lot of mistakes. Will you forgive me? That's manning up.
Yeah.
That's manning up. To my ex-wife.
That's manning up.
And then to my sons and my daughters, I said, I apologize. I didn't know. I didn't do everything the right way. Please forgive me from this point and let's move forward.
That's right.
And now I can get Daddy, tell me how to do this. Daddy, let me get some feedback on this, when they could have just had that wall up and I not have a relationship at all with them because of the type of father. I was I'm telling you, brothers, I was militant.
And that's the one thing that we harped on, Calvin, when we was answering that question. We say, do not stop. Do not stop. Continue doing what you're doing. Am I right? We told him, continue doing what you're doing. Continue talking to this young man because he's going to come back And here you go. If you go look at that first episode, you will see what we talked about that. And now he's answering the question. So everything is on, I mean, we on the right path with the Man Up Podcast Lounge.
But you don't want to be one of them fathers that's too loosely either. Like being at a party with your kid, trying to still be young and hanging out and drinking with your kids. Like, it's a time and a place for that. But not even drinking. I'm like, not drinking with your kids. Like, you got some parents that do that too loosely.
Right.
You don't want to be too loosely. You want to be consistent on, you know, being a good man as you are. And, you know, like I said, like you, man, I about to cry when you was saying this stuff like it, because like I said, I ain't had no father figure. But, I mean, I had father figures, but it was with their kids, you know what I'm saying? So I had to catch that with out as a window, with, you know, looking in. So it was tough. So the streets was a father figure to me. And now I'm trying to show that other guys that you don't have to be in the streets or be out there in the streets and try to make it something other than that's what we got you here. To show us how business is like how we can follow our dreams. You know what I'm saying? And be something else other than being this person that I got to be a rapper or a fighter or something like that. You can be a doctor, lawyer, a restaurant owner, or, you know what I'm saying, an entrepreneur.
That's right, that's right.
Be in a magazine, you know, build your own magazine. But a lot of us don't know what that first step to take, or we too nervous to take that step because some of us scared of failure. We don't like failing.
Everything, you should not be, that's the thing though, you're right. You're exactly right. Most people are afraid of failure, that's why they won't try.
Right.
But the thing is, if you don't try, you don't know whether you're gonna fail or not. You don't know, you might succeed. It's a 50-50 shot. And that's with men, women, anyone, okay? I grew up with no father, you know, and you know, having a single mom, you know, raising two young men, you know, she worked all the time, and that's hard.
Yeah.
And in a young man, because I have two sons, I got one in college and one in, you know, first grade. But as a young man, you have to, when you're looking for leadership, and you're looking for a structure, and you're looking for guidance, it's hard for young men if you don't have the father right there.
We had Charlie Ricks on the show last week. We were talking about standing up as being a man. And like he said, we were talking about his son, his teenage son, how he be trying to, like, you know, tell him about how he came up. But, you know, some of these kids don't listen. They go out one ear out the other. Even though you can tell them hard and all along and be like, look, I did this, I done that, but I'm trying to steer you the right way. So how was it with your boys?
So with my boys, it was a little difficult because, again, military, always on duty. I've never been home for Father's Day. I've never been home for Mother's Day.
Okay.
So I've never been home because of my military career, right? But one thing that I can say that I did for them is I always led the example of being in the home, teaching them how to pay bills, wash dishes, clean the house, those type of things when they were just little boys. So I tried to instill, I'm here in the house, even though you see me put on my uniform and you know what the military is up until they graduated high school, you know what my career was. But this is how I took care of my family. When I wasn't in the military, when I wasn't on duty, you also saw me going to work, coming back to work, taking you guys to work, so you guys can see what hard work looked like. Right. So you don't see, I never wanted my kids to know poverty, and I never wanted them to know the streets, even though the TV was going to do that, because that's what we know, right? That's what the fathers we knew that.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what it looked like for a man to go to work. But I know how it looked when my grandmother put on that apron string, and got in the kitchen and made biscuits or all those complaint systems. I knew that, but I wanted to give them the other side of that, of seeing a man handle his responsibility as best as I could.
So you said wash dishes, and when I came up, it won't no washing dishes or being in that kitchen. You know what I'm saying? That was forbidden. You might not even go to the refrigerator without washing your hands and stuff like that. That was the mother standpoint.
But
so
initially, I was a single father. I didn't have that mother there helping me. It was just
So you
me.
had to clean up.
So I had to show them. I had to
Okay.
show them what a clean house looked like
Right.
from a male perspective. So what happens when it's time for you to start dating and you invite somebody over? You want to invite them to the messy house with your socks and stinking shoes all
All
over
we
the
do
place?
about
Or
taking
do
out
you
trash.
want or do you want to show them that you know how to wash, your kitchen is clean, your living room is clean, and that type of thing. I wanted to give them that side of daddy. It had to be mama and daddy at the same time for at least the first 5
And
years.
you show them by example.
Right.
That's the thing. The thing you teaching them was responsibility. You take out the trash, you wash the dishes. When my grandma told me, hey, come on over here, let me show you how to cook, because you might not get married right away.
Right.
And she was right, I ain't get married till I was 30. So what you teaching the boys the same way, that structure, and that's by example. So like you say, when they get a date, they want a nice girl they feel nice enough to bring home, you don't want to turn the girl off when they get, he don't even keep his house clean. And he don't know how to take out the garbage or wash the dishes or vacuum, so it's these things that translate into your academic and professional life. If you organized in your home, if you care about your personal appearance, that's going to translate into caring about what it is you do in your place of employment. Even if you don't like your job, you're going to do your job well and function well, and people are going to respect you. And that's the whole man up part of it, because men want to be around, want to be surrounded by, and want to project an aura or some type of respect. You have to have respect for yourself first if you want other people to respect you. So you're going to begin to behave in a way that's going to attract respect, and that's part of being a man from a foundational aspect, and that's what you pass on to your kids.
So like you said, not to cut you off.
No.
Was it worth it all? Like even with the with how your first marriage went, the second marriage, was it worth being consistent with it all? Like,
Great question.
Entrepreneurs showing your kids, okay. So Father's Day, what you spoke on to, they don't publicize it like Mother's Day.
Correct.
So as a black man, as a father, you showing your kids and your daughter, we raised our daughter a certain way and we raised our son, even though it's biased, like our daughters can't have this.
I agree.
But our sons, you taught your sons off the top, like this how you supposed to be. So, what I mean? Like I respect that I respect that because I never had that, you know what I'm saying? As a man, I'm still growing myself, so understanding how you should teach a person or your child or your confidants or whoever. But you've been consistent with your wife, and like you said, that's the only person that you have, to talk to. You don't need no shrink or nothing like that. It's you and her. So what I'm trying to get out to say is, I honestly understand when it comes to your children, but you got to raise them. First, you got to start off as a boy, for to be that man. Even if you ain't got no wife, you just got to take care of business. So I want to understand, was it worth all that?
It really was worth it. Even in the midst of sometimes not seeing it manifest in front of you.
Exactly.
It's still worth it because I know I gave them everything I was supposed to give them. At a certain age, they leave the nest and they make their own decisions.
That's right.
But the foundation that I put in them, on the latter side of it, has to eventually come to pass because you're going to be in the same shoes I was in.
And I want to delve down into that more because J.K. Style and Grill has to be one of your babies.
That's
It gotta be your babies. And the reason why I want to bring that up because the word entrepreneurship, and if you go back to the first podcast, he'll tell you I love words. I said it in the last one.
Go ahead.
I always start conversation with words because words are important. So when we look at the entrepreneurship and me having a wife with sons, I see her continue, even in their adult life, giving them advice, still being that mother in their life, right? So I'm pretty sure even with your sons and your daughters, and being an entrepreneur, do you see that being difficult now? Or was that foundation you raised, that foundation that you instilled in them? Because nothing is 100%. We already know that, nothing is 100%. So basically, even though you raise them from boys to men, now they are men, now they want to get those questions that was instilled in them. And being an entrepreneur and having a grill takes a lot of your time.
It does.
So how do you navigate through that as far as continue being that parent, even in adult ages?
Not easy.
Yeah, man.
It is not easy. But the shining light to it now is 2 of my 3 sons are now becoming entrepreneurs.
Oh, that's great.
Now have children. My oldest son has 4 children. My youngest son has 2. Both of them, well, my youngest son is now in the dog business. Oldest son, rapper, and he's into his clothing line.
Okay, great.
So now you're getting the questions of, Dad, what is an LLC?
Oh.
Daddy, what is the taxes?
Yeah.
Daddy, how do you get your employees? Daddy, how do you pay your taxes on your employees? What are the benefits of having this compared to this? So now you're having the entrepreneur questions because they saw the discipline that Daddy had in the beginning. So when I was trying to train you guys or teach you guys these things, it was going to one and out the other because it wasn't an interest.
Exactly.
Now you have an interest. That's the same as Daddy.
Yeah,
so now you have to ask the questions and get the answers,
Right.
and know that it ain't easy.
Man, that's beautiful.
And now listen, when your kids come and ask you, can I borrow $1?
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to explain to them.
Yeah.
Listen here, this dollar's gonna come with something.
Yeah, yeah.
If I give you this dollar, you have to show me a plan on what you're gonna do with it.
Ah, that's great.
It has to be a plan. I can't just give you this just to give you this.
That's great.
It has to have some type of ground that this seed is going to go into. Because I'm looking at you now as an investment. You're my investment now. If I give you $10, show me what my investment is going to do. I'm not just giving it to you just
Exactly.
for you to have.
Especially
it's your
boys.
responsibility.
Yeah.
It's your boy.
Especially
it's your
boys.
responsibility
Yeah.
to take care of your
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
not mine.
Yeah.
If my grandchildren need, granddaddy's there. But it's your responsibility to take care of your children first, and then allow me to step in and be your helper.
You
I ain't
know
gonna
what?
take care of you.
You know what? I excuse me, fellas.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
I really want to get into this with you, Kelvin. I really do, man. I got to get in.
Let's go.
Do you hand little boys money? Do you? I know little girls, but do you have sons? Do you just hand them money?
So one of my grandsons now. So most of my grandchildren are in South Carolina, 8 hours away.
Yeah.
I have one here, 2 here. He's of age now. In the beginning, I did. Here you go.
Yeah.
He's 10 years old now, and he comes to the restaurant. Pop, I want some candy. Pop, I want. So he comes to the restaurant. He used to get his food for free. I said, no, sir. So you're 10 years old.
Yes.
When you come into the door. Yes. You need to go over here and make me 50 bottles of lemonades. You need to sweep the floor
Great.
or help me unload the truck. And then once you do that, then Pop will reward you with either your chicken wings
That's
or
great.
I give you this. But if I give you this, we this amount of money, we spend this amount. Because I've been teaching my grandson that's here the importance of having money in your pocket.
Right.
My uncle taught me, I'm 46 years old. My Uncle Thomas just passed away, I say a month ago. Taught me at the age of 42, I'm only 46. Taught me at the age of 42 the importance of having money in your wallet. I used to have the debit card.
Okay.
What happens if the machine go out, nephew? You're not thinking about that, nephew. What happens if you need something on the spot, nephew? Everybody's not using those cards right now.
Yeah.
You should have nothing less than $500. I'm 42 years old and my mouth drops like, I never realized. I never thought about it that way.
Me either.
You teaching me?
You teaching me
that
now.
I need to be putting money, keeping money,
Yeah.
cash money in my wallet at all times because you never know.
You never
when you
know.
need it.
I'm gonna stir it up. See, like that. You saying that though? You got the jackers ready for you. So I'm just messing.
Jackers only mess with people that put themselves in a position to be jackers.
Oh, wow.
Goodness,
I'm
you
a
gotta
business-
answer,
I'm a-
boy.
I love talking to this guy. I love talking to this guy.
Yeah, I only deal with people that.
When we talking about manning
everybody
up.
here trying to steal.
Yes,
We're trying to
yes.
all grow together. We're trying
Oh
to
my
grow.
God.
Yeah.
That's
Sir,
great, man.
I'm not
That's
in a
great.
position. I never put myself, and I'm gonna put these in quotations. I've never put myself in a situation where I have to fear another man tapping my pockets.
Exactly.
Never have that fear.
Exactly.
Shouldn't.
Exactly. I mean, we are in a world today. I mean, we live in a dangerous world. And I can tell you, I look at my surroundings everywhere I go.
Supposed to.
I look at my surroundings, and my wife may look at me like I'm staring or whatever, but I'm not. I'm really observing everything around me because people are mean. And I'm gonna tell you, we're in this world today, in this society, we don't know who coming at us. Man, they coming at us in dresses and all, man. You know, I'm back in the day, we ain't have to worry about that. I mean, back in the day, the women had a little, you know, with them, but today, man, they setting you up.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't trying to get it, I ain't trying to did, but let's tell the truth. So he brought up the word jacking. I'm a word man. He brought the word jacking, but today everybody jacking.
Everybody jacking.
6-year-old is trying to teach you. Now I'm scared of 6-year-olds, you know? No, just a joke. But watch out for these 6-year-olds. But Kelvin, we're gonna keep it going. You know, I can tell you, man, this conversation is a lovely, lovely conversation that we're having here. It's episode 2 of the ManUp podcast, season 2 here. Go back, make sure y'all look at episode 1. Great conversation.
Great.
I can tell you, Kelvin, you know, we're gonna just let you flow. We got a couple of minutes left on this, and we'll let you flow, man. What's just on your mind right now?
Nothing really, man. I'm just here enjoying. I'm gonna tell you something.
Something
man.
on your mind,
I love-
Kelvin. You're not
I
a
love
man
the
that
fact-
ain't got nothing on your mind.
Man, I love the fact that I'm in have the pleasure of sitting amongst men.
Yeah, that's great.
For me, I don't get to do that a lot. Because I'm the boss, right? I'm usually sitting amongst employees.
Talk about the loneliness
Yeah, so
of being a
lonely,
boss.
It's lonely of being at
Yeah.
the top, but it's good to be amongst men where you can have a manly conversation.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
I play Call of Duty. You were saying that earlier, right?
Yeah.
I play Call of Duty because I'm on the set with
Hey, you
3
talk to
other
God.
men, and we're talking strategies. We're talking about how to accomplish the task. There's several small tasks and then there's a big task.
Right.
Every time I talk to these guys, we're always trying to get to the small task so we can
Get to
win
the
the
big-
bigger
Yes,
task.
sir. Right.
And then when you get to the bigger task, you can exfil. That means get away from everything else. So I like just being around men where we can just have great conversation, man. Figure out what's the small things, what is the big goal we're trying to get to, and once we get that big goal, how we gonna get up out of here?
Ah, that's great. That's
I'm
great.
trying to retire at 55.
55.
55, I'm trying to retire.
I said 62.
55, I'm doing it, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
no.
break another sweat, man.
I got
This is the honest to
I
God
got a
truth.
smart wife. She might get me out in the next 6 months.
She
I
might,
don't know.
man. I've been telling my wife and my mother that my next application that I fill out, 'cause I ain't filling out another application, but my next
That's great.
application that I fill out, brother, my dream job, y'all gonna laugh at this, but this is the honest to God truth. My dream job is to be a Walmart greeter.
Oh no,
Hey.
no.
If that's your
Hold
dream
on,
job,
hold on. That's a whole nother.
That's
That's a
what you
whole
do,
nother
bro.
segment.
Stress free that is.
That's a whole nother
Yeah.
segment, Cal.
Wait a minute,
that's a retirement job.
Yeah.
That's why he's saying. That's what you do
55.
when you sit back in
Listen,
your
customer
part time.
service-
But look,
Right.
hold on.
all
But
we
is it
do.
different? Is it different when you greet and you don't need the money?
I'm retired at 55. I'm just
When you greedy for the money, when you greedy for the money, it's a
I
lot.
ain't greedy for the money. Reception desk is this way. You guys have a wonderful day. Appreciate you. That's all I want to do.
That's great.
I get about 12 hours a week and go to the house.
That's right.
That's what's up.
See a greedy, man.
Bro, listen, bro. And y'all have a wonderful day.
So do you answer to yourself? Well, you got some advice too, but as a boss, because you ain't got to get up and say early to crack a dog to be at somebody else. It's yours. It's your baby. It's what you love to do. So how?
So listen, you might like this answer. I go to bed at 3, sometimes 4 in the morning. I have to figure out the recipes, schedule, food order, food costs, what's next, what is social media now, the social media side of things. learning how to operate the computer systems, the hardware touches, what is the 5-year plan. I still got to write that out. So I go to bed 3, 4 in the morning. I'm back up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, trying to get myself together, make sure my wife is good, make sure my daughter is good, get to the business, make sure all the employees showed up, make sure the product is in. If the product is not there, I need to go get the product before we open the restaurant. Then while I'm in the restaurant, I got to make sure everything is flowing, the equipment go down, or I got to call the repair guy to make sure the equipment is up. Because if the equipment is down, I ain't got no money. I can't make no money. So then I go throughout the entire day. My day ends at about 7:30 or 8 o'clock from the work. So I take an hour down. I go grab me something to eat. Get to the house. I got to play husband, wife, son, because my mother's there with me. I got to put that in. That's right. By the time it's time to lay down again, I got to figure out the schedule.
Hey, look. Hey, we coming back. But before we come back, did you see his eyes? He was like, hold on, did I ask the right question? Okay, this is
I work hard at business on this.
Brother, I wanted to ask you, what obstacles did you face as a man in becoming an entrepreneur in the food industry, and what words of encouragement would you have for younger brothers who might be watching this now, wanting to look into getting to the food industry?
So the hardest obstacle I had was really taking the initiative to jump to become my own entrepreneur. I've always ran everybody's business. I was a general manager at a well-established, I ran 2 restaurants at the time. Okay. And in the process of leaving one, going to my next one, Mr. Steve Harvey came on. Mr. Steve Harvey gave the jump speech. I don't know if y'all ever heard the jump speech. I'm not familiar. Sometimes you're going to get to the edge of the cliff, you're going to jump off, and just know your parachute's not going to open right away. But if you keep tugging on the string before you hit the ground, eventually your parachute is going to open. Right. I called my wife. I mean, it was a 5-minute drive. The speech was maybe like a minute and a half. I said, sweetheart, I said, I think I want to quit my job, and let's look at doing a food truck. She said, husband, I've been waiting on you for a long time.
Wow. That's great.
But that wasn't the kicker.
Okay.
So when I left there, I went to the guy, we're friends to this day. I went to the district manager. He was in the restaurant with me. I walked up to him, because he and I had been talking about me doing the food truck, but it's years down the line. Right. I said, bro, I just talked to my wife. She said I can quit my job, man, and do food. Man, I've been waiting on you to say that for a long time. We're sitting on this line. Yeah. It's like an hour later. We're sitting on the line. I mean, it's pumping. Got a line of people. It's pumping out, and I stopped. I look at him. He looked back at me. He said, get out of here, man.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
So get out of here. I started my first restaurant, the one on College Park.
Okay.
You ain't gonna believe this number right here. You ain't gonna believe this number. I started my business with $1,500.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Walked into, so initially again, I said I was looking at a food truck. So I was trying to search the food truck. Guy was trying to get out of his business. He said, I don't want nothing from you. $1,500.
Wow.
You give me $1,500, that's what I need to pay whatever I need. The rent, I need to pay the rent. $1,500, all the equipment that's in there, to this day.
You
That's
know
what I
that
walked
was.
into.
You know who that was.
I know that.
You know what that
God.
blessing. That wasn't nothing but a blessing.
That's right. That's right.
You knew where you were supposed to be. You know, with a little joke, you want to see God laugh, tell him what you want to do.
Right.
That's
$1,500.
great.
So I got a question, like with your equipment and stuff like that. Why do you don't get like somebody, like one of your kids, specialize in working on equipment?
Because they grown men, they make their own decisions.
Yeah,
I try to get them to be a part of what I'm doing. Again, I have 3 food trucks now. 3 of them.
3 of them.
And listen, somebody gave me my 3rd one because they said what I'm doing with my daughter. They see the amount of time and what we're doing on social media. They said, all the stuff that you're doing, I don't want you to buy this. Brought the title to me. Signed the title. So here's a 3rd food truck. Got to sit in a restaurant right now.
And you know what, Kelvin? This is not isolated, man. Your blessings are not isolated.
Oh, I agree.
Them blessings for everybody out
For
there.
everybody.
You just gotta ask, man. You just gotta ask. You say you're a minister, right?
Yep.
You gotta ask. This is not isolated blessings, people. These blessings, you heard, this man God was waiting for him to step out of his comfort zone. And look what he did.
Yeah.
But I was a good guy too.
Hey, you know.
I ain't had no bad name.
That counts.
Yeah.
That counts.
I feel like
That do count.
That counts.
Yeah.
I had a good name. And if you look at any of our reviews on any of our social media, from any restaurant or food truck, the first thing you see or first thing you hear is they make us feel like family. Then they talk about the food.
And I gotta come visit, man.
The third thing is that I always tell people that there's nobody in the 7 cities can say anything negative about me or my family.
That's
not
great.
one
That's
thing,
great.
because I haven't put any.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything. I'm not a swindler. I'm not a liar. I'm not a cheater.
That's great.
I'm not any of those things. I'm just an entrepreneur trying to take care of my family, feed the
I
community.
feel your spirit, man. Brother, man, I feel your spirit up here, man.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, when I come and visit, now, I want to know how nice you are, because we was on the podcast together. We trying to eat, baby.
Well, I was on poolside cooking one time too, man. Bang your mouth.
Hey.
What you cook up there? What was you cooking?
Man, I had a battle. So I also I had a YouTube series called Pull Up Food Battles, me and 2 other chefs.
Okay.
And we
I
go
think I
around
seen
different
that.
chefs. Yeah, we go around different chefs. We go around different
I
restaurants and
seen
chefs.
it, yeah.
If you think you can
Like
outcook
pull
me,
up. Yeah, I seen
pull
that.
up. That's it.
Yeah.
If you think you can outcook me, pull up. Let's see.
Yeah. That was on YouTube, right?
It was on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was on Sky 4 or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I cook a bacon spaghetti. I don't think
I love that.
I don't think you can beat me in spaghetti, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
At least you cook.
You got it.
You know what? As men, we got to learn how to cook. You said that earlier.
Oh, good.
We have to
Got
learn
to.
how to cook. Young men out there,
Got to.
I agree.
how to cook. Because these wives today, they ain't grandma wives. They ain't got the long thing standing by. They entrepreneurs. They go-getters. They everything. So you going to be saying, where my meal at? And she going to be like, they go in there and get it. So.
You see, as us men, like, we grew up, we thought that the woman's supposed to be in the kitchen, cooking, cleaning, stuff like that. Like fairy tale marriage. Is it?
Oh, yeah. It's-
Fred Sanford and Jay and Good Times, they told us woman's supposed to be in the kitchen or the bedroom.
Yeah, that's what they told us.
That's traditional. That's traditional. It's normal.
Yeah, I know, bro.
You know who was behind the scenes back then. We ain't gonna, that's a whole nother podcast.
So
we was watching.
We was watching.
Yeah.
So that's what we thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that. You know what I mean?
And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what works for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Your
Yeah, in
household.
your household.
If y'all happy,
Exactly.
then that's fine.
That's
fine.
fine.
But sometimes in our modern more progressive society, that might not be what works. The wife may want to make her take a more active role in the finances or whatever. So, but as long as if that's what makes y'all happy, then that's what you do.
But we also got to remember eggs are like real high right now. You know,
They
so
are.
It takes 2 incomes.
They are that.
I mean, now I understand what you're
True
I
indeed,
understand
I
what you're
can't-
saying because I'm around people who wives haven't worked for a while.
Sure.
But they are financially able to take care of the household, right?
Right.
So, hey, if that is what's good for that marriage, hey, fine, that works. We're not saying
Yes,
that
sir.
it doesn't.
Right.
But if you look at it percentage-wise, there's a lot of women out here that's working, and they're working outside the home.
Yeah.
Right.
So as men, we got to be able to feed ourselves when the time comes.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? And oodles with noodles is not healthy. That's not a healthy meal. And
So,
JK, look,
who
Mr.
said
Kelvin,
that, though?
that's not healthy, is it? 'Cause
He
you the chef
eat
up
them every now and then. He eat them every now and then. Ain't nothing wrong with those noodles, man.
I stay away from them. I try not to eat them.
Too much sodium.
Too much. Well, I'm getting. You called me the old man last time. I'm good. I can't eat a whole lot of stuff these days.
That's right.
But we're gonna keep this conversation going. Great conversation. I can tell you this. As we move forward with the ManUp podcast, we really want to start with a lot of ideas. So people out there, if you got ideas for the ManUp podcast, shoot them to it. Get where Ebony Chanel, shoot them to it, man. We'll have a conversation about it, because we want to make sure that men are getting what they need out of this podcast, because you have 4 men up here, and we are all been in different walks of life, I want to say, or different paths. We've been on different paths. When the camera wasn't rolling, I found out a lot about this gentleman. You know what I mean? This man right here, you never know who you sitting beside.
Never know.
You know, so I found out a lot about him.
More
Found out a lot
chestnut
about
cousin.
Kelvin. You know, this our second time being.
Right.
I'm looking forward to working with you. You know, in the future on the ManUp podcast. But as I harp on that, I want everybody up here, man. Just what's on y'all mind in general. Just what's on y'all mind in general as men.
Oh, well, I guess I'll start that off. What's on my mind right now is basically, I'm like this brother, and all my brothers alike up here. If you are a young man or a young person out there, and I can tell you from personal experience that life is hard, okay? And some people are born with, the easier road or the easier path. Everybody has their own path to walk. If you are in any way discouraged, or if you thinking, that you got to go the quick way to get there, life is hard. So you need to put in the work. There's no guarantees about anything, but I can tell you with a high degree of certainty that if you put in the work, if you stay disciplined, you be honorable about yourself, whether you choose to engage in spirituality with God or whatever, you do the right thing in a positive way, it's going to come back to you. All right, you put it out there, it's going to come back to you. You will see the results. You might not see it instantaneously, but like he asked, was it worth it? If you put that seed, when you plant the seed, you don't have to be there to see the tree grow and bear fruit. You just know that it will. So I encourage and support any young person, whatever you want to do with your life, be strategic about it. So you have a plan, work towards your goal, and you will get there. You have to stay consistent, put your energy and your effort behind it, and you can do it. And that's my thought for you.
Any thoughts, my brother?
I got a whole lot of thoughts. When he was saying he stay up at night, see, I sleep acting.
I do too.
Man, and sometimes that sleep just be beating me up. Sometimes the world beat me up because of what the job I do. So I take on a lot of stress. Like I told you, I got to watch out for everybody that's surrounding me, even the people that come in. And it's sometimes it get too much that, I take it in because I'm a man, so I can't share with everybody because some people don't know what you go through.
Exactly.
So like you said, it's what you dealt with, and I deal with what I deal with and keep it on the inside. And when I get home, I just sleep it off.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't even know if I'm asleep, because you know how that sleep having thing work. Sometimes you be like, why did I go to sleep here? Oh, I ain't know I was asleep this long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that, I just gotta be consistent and any man out there, just be consistent on what you're doing. If it's something positive, do it. If it's a business idea that you got, just go with the faith. Put God first and just do it. Because I always wanted to be a bodybuilder, but I know it's done now.
Hey, that's something you can
Yeah, you can still do that.
I don't think I can do it now.
I mean, you might not be a bodybuilder, but you can build your body.
Yeah.
You got anything on your mind, Mr. Kelvin?
Sure, man. I'd love to, if I could, man, leave an encouraging thing for young people and us.
Yes.
Last year, the Lord gave me that last year would be the year of great conversation. That everybody that I talked to, that the conversation had meaning behind it. And he gave me 3 E's. And so the 3 E's I want to leave right now with you guys is, first one is encouragement. And that first E, encouragement, is encourage yourself. When I wake up in the morning, I put my feet on the ground, I go in my bathroom, I'm brushing my teeth, and I take the time up to look in that mirror, that's who I need to encourage first. Because if I'm not encouraging myself, once I walk out that door, life beats me up. If I haven't built myself up to go out and deal with life, then life's gonna get the best of me.
Right.
Second thing is empower. The second E is empower. Right. I'm not here to empower myself, because I've already encouraged myself. I'm here to empower my brother or my sister or my son, my daughter.
Right.
I'm empowering you just to let you know I'm sending you a word of encouragement. I'm empowering you, right? The third E that I want us to lead with on this one, man, is edify. And that means build up. Edify each other. We're going to build each other up every time we see each other. And that makes me not worry about nobody getting in my pocket.
Exactly.
Not worrying about the negativity, because I'm giving you the energy of edification. I'm building you up. Right. When you're down and you're down and out, you know that there's a brother that you can trust and lean on. You can come and lean on his shoulder, and if you need to cry and get that up, it ain't going to go nowhere. Because once you're done with it, it's my job to build you back up. Because as men, we need that outlet. There's times I want to, my brother Mike LaMelle and another guy would come to the restaurant, man. I'd be like, man, who's holding up the hands of the strong man?
Yeah.
We're men, and we're out here, and we're seeing all this stuff. But who's helping us keep our hands up? We got to hold up everything else. And we need it.
That's right.
I need somebody. I need to cry sometimes.
That's
man.
right.
I do. I'm 46 years old, brother. I need to cry sometimes. I need to get this all off of my chest, because when I go home, I don't have room to give my wife nothing but what she deserves and desires. My daughter, what they deserve and desire. I can't bring what I'm dealing with and drop it on them.
There you go.
I need to get rid of that before I get there.
You know, I want to leave with these young men out here. Right now, you are creating your past. Remember that. You are creating your past. Every day that you wake up, you're creating your past. What is your past going to look like in the future?
That's good.
So you got to think every move that you make. He said you have to be strategic.
That's right.
That's the key. Because every day that you wake up, young man, you are creating your past.
That's good word.
And you can be the architect, the author, and everything in between when it comes down to your future. So make sure, young men, that you are in the grace of great men, even at a young age.
That's good.
Because your young brothers and your young sisters these days can take you down a path that you may not want to go. And your past, you will have to answer for it. And time is important. So when you're creating your past, think about how much you got to fix in your future. This is the Man Up Podcast, baby. That. We are here. We got my man Kelvin. Great conversation, Mr. Kelvin. I tell you, really enjoyed that. And I got my brothers to the side, man. We are like really enjoying talking on this podcast. And right now, you know, hey, put God first in everything you do. I'm going to shut up now, you know. My name Warren G, though. Bully Magazine. Go to Bully Magazine, Bully Motivational Magazine. Just Google us, and you'll see everything that we do. Go ahead, man. Throw your plugs in there, man. Throw your plugs in there.
Shout out to Powerhouse Boxing, Kickboxing.
Shout out.
And shout out Savage Inc., Strategic Advocacy Ventures, and Grassroots Engagement Incorporated. I am Jeff C., your political savage.
If any man out there would like to come join the Man Up Podcast now, it's www.theempoweredlounge.com.
Take us up now, Mr. Kelvin.
Well, it's your boy Big Kev, J&K Style Grill, home of the original waffle burger, stuffed wings, and assorted egg rolls. You can copy my style, but never my respect.
Well, I'm coming to get some of that.